will clear out, but it's going to be cold with a light freeze in the morning. Let me show you the particulars on this. Here's what's going on right now. We have this onshore flow that's been bringing in moisture. That's also been bringing in cloudiness. And you see the green, that's a few little sprinkle showers here and there. It's very light, but if you have to travel in this, it's the type where it puts a little mist on your windshield, and that will be with us most of the night, off and on, off and on. As we zoom out, we can see where the parent storm system is. It's right here over Arizona. They had some heavy snow there last night. That storm system, not much to it right now, but as it moves into Texas, it will tap into all this moisture flowing in off the Gulf of Mexico. And once it hooks up with that moisture, it will squeeze it out into rain and some thunderstorms as well. Here's the jet stream, the wind flow at 34,000 feet. That's where our upper level trough is right now over Arizona, sitting there. That's the trough axis. Watch how this moves right on across and digs into Texas and northern Mexico over the next 48 hours. You don't often see troughs like this dig that far south into Mexico, but this one's going to do it. And quite often when they do that, they kind of get cut off. And when the center of that low or the trough axis gets cut off, it can bend the winds kind of back toward itself. This is an area of low pressure. So the winds get kind of bent back toward the center here. And then out ahead of it, they head to the north and east. And that creates what's called a split jet pattern. The jet stream, the winds at 34,000 feet are splitting. And when they do that, it's like it creates a vacuum at 34,000 feet. It literally is like if you hold your fingers together and then spread them apart, well, what do you get? You get empty space in between your fingers. Empty space is a vacuum. So a vacuum at 34,000 feet will pull the air vertically. As the air rises, it cools, condenses, and that's what squeezes out the rain and can also cause convection and thunderstorms. And in this case, there's a lot of moisture available. I showed you that flow coming off the Gulf, that there may be some heavy rain and maybe enough to dump 2, 3, 4 inches in some spots. I don't think everywhere. Let me show you how this is going to be reflected down at the surface. That was the wind flow at 34,000 feet. Here's what it means at the surface. Going into this evening, we've had a few sprinkles. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, we get a little bit more in the way of light rain across Houston. This is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. By the afternoon, it's much more widespread, moderate, maybe a pocket of heavier rain here and there by 5 o'clock. But it's really going to be Wednesday night into Thursday morning that this frontal boundary here is going to stall, and a coastal low is going to form at the surface. That will pull in more moisture as it feeds into that counterclockwise rotation around that surface low, and it will interact with these surface boundaries, and that will cause the threat for some heavy rain. But it appears, due to the position of that low, that the heaviest rain is going to be to the north and northwest of Houston. And if you remember by the earlier map, we had the split going here and going here. And so that's right there at the axis of that split. That's why I think, and the models agree, that that's where the heaviest rain is going to be. Not directly over Houston, but it's going to be close, so it's something we'll be watching for. Oh, and that is snow, and it may be heavy snow in West Texas, San Angelo to Marfa to Del Rio. That's Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, watch that low move due north. Our rain will begin to come to an end going into Thursday evening, but that snow and sleet expands. I think it will stay west of San Antonio, west of Austin, west of Dallas. But if you have to travel out west of that into the big country, you may see some icy conditions at times. For us, this is New Year's Eve, 7 p.m., rain ending. Then it gets chilly Thursday night as you ring in the new year, and then going into Friday, it gets cold. How much rain are we going to get? Models have been very consistent in giving us between 1 and 2 inches of rain area-wide, and the heaviest rain is further north and west, 2 to 3, 3.5 inches from Brenham to College Station, and much more if you get up toward Waco. That's where that split, the axis of that split is that we talked about, and that's why they're expecting the heaviest rain. We can handle a couple inches of rain. We can handle 3 inches of rain. We could probably handle 4. The plants and the grass have all gone dormant. They're no longer growing. They're just kind of sitting there. That makes a big difference in our flash flood guidance. When the grass is growing vigorously, like in the summertime, when it rains, that grass, those roots, it's amazing how much water it very quickly sucks up into the plants. And it makes it more difficult for us to have flash flooding. When the grass is dormant, it's not pulling anything up, and also the ground can become more hydrophobic. It doesn't want to absorb the water, so it doesn't take as much to cause a flash flooding threat, but these numbers don't say anything to me that we're going to have a big flash flood threat. However, if you got to travel around next couple of days, there may be some high water spots on the roads from time to time. This evening, cloudy and a little bit of drizzle in pockets, off and on this evening and overnight tonight. And as we go into Wednesday, we'll start with a 40% rain chance in the morning, 50% rain chance by noon, and we'll raise it way up to 90% going into the afternoon and evening on Wednesday, and that will hold through Wednesday night into the first half of Thursday morning. I think by Thursday afternoon, that 80% rain chance will be done. I think we'll be dry, but breezy and cloudy and chilly going into midnight on New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day, we'll start with a light freeze in the morning, 32, then 56 as we clear out on New Year's Day, and then the coming weekend looks gorgeously chilly, lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s and 60s. That's a very nice first 3 days of 2021. Let's hope that's a sign of things to come. So we'll keep an eye on the weather. Download the app, turn on notifications, so if anything does start to happen where you live, you'll get the update, and we'll see you live on TV at 10 o'clock for a complete update.